So we're here in Final Cut Pro 10.3 and I've just created a new library. I'm going to import some media in here now, and we're just going to have a look at how similar the import process is to Final Cut Pro 10.2.2. So firstly, we have the same layout for our libraries here. These windows here are called our sidebar, which we can show and hide, just like we could in Final Cut Pro 10.2.2, and our browser. Okay, so we can show and hide these. If we click on the import media button, we'll come to a media import window that should look pretty familiar to those that have used Final Cut Pro 10.3. So we have the same options here for copying to the library. The libraries are structured in the same way as they are in 10.2.2. So this is very much a visual upgrade in a lot of ways, and a lot of the back end stuff, the way that we're importing files and creating projects, is not changed dramatically for the end user. So you'll see that your project libraries are the same as they were before. So you have the same options for creating optimized media, for creating proxy media. So all things that you should be familiar with from working with older versions of Final Cut Pro 10. So I'm just going to close this window up, and we are going to jump to a folder which we're going to import a video file to here from. So I'm going to hold down Command and tap Tab just to move to my Finder, and we're now going to jump to the Documents folder here, and I'm looking for my tutorials, and we're going to import this recording from my Final Cut Pro 10.3 First Thoughts tutorial video. So I'm going to drag this across, and I'm viewing in proxy mode at the moment, so I haven't transcoded this to proxy mode. That's one of the things I want to look at here. So we have the same ability if we go into our view drop down menu here to view things in optimized or original mode. Okay, and the options here for quality, for better quality or better performance, and then the option to view things as optimized or original or in proxy mode. So I'm going to zoom out here and just have a look at a couple of things here. So we've lost the zoom bar at the bottom here, but we can use Command minus to zoom out of those clips. So we can come to a thumbnail of that clip, and the zoom menu has moved underneath this clip appearance button. So if we want to zoom in to our thumbnails here, we can increase and decrease the height of them, and we can also zoom in right down to a half-second view and then back to the thumbnail view. And we've also got the ability here, as before, to group things by when they're created, when they're imported, and so on and so forth. So we've got the same options. They've just moved from the bottom of our browser here up to the top. So same controls for viewing things. So it's all looking pretty similar there. So we're going to go ahead now and create a new edit. So I'm going to go to File, New Project, same process as before, and this window should seem pretty familiar for those that have worked in Final Cut Pro 10 in earlier versions. So we're going to be setting up this new project. I'm going to make this 1080p and running at 29.97. We can choose the rendering options here. So I'll go for Apple ProRes 422 and leave the audio alone and click OK. So same setup for customizing your new project edits in Final Cut Pro 10. And we can drag this clip now right down to the timeline. And I'm now going to transcode this to a proxy version because I'm working on an older laptop computer. So I want to have a speedy edit. So I'm just going to right click here, go to transcode media, and now create my proxy version of that edit, which is going to make my edit process a lot quicker. So I can see the progress of this now up here at the top left. We've moved our background tasks button from the middle here in Final Cut Pro 10.2.2 up to the top left, and we can see that transcoding happening up on the top left here. So we'll leave this now. We've set up a new edit, we've imported some media, and then also had a look at where our options are the same as they were in Final Cut Pro 10.2.2 and where a few of the buttons have moved around. But again, a lot of this seems cosmetic rather than fundamental to the way that we're working. So we might search for a couple minutes for some new buttons, but generally things are locked in the same place, which will make the move from older versions of Final Cut Pro 10 a lot easier to manage.